Welcome back, everybody, to the CCL. We were just waiting up on one of the teams to finish up their first match of the night and get ready for their second one. We got ICC versus the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. And I'm excited for this one, Corin, because it's going to close out our nights. And for UTRGV, they're going to be looking to bounce back for their what was just a round 11 game 5 loss, which I'm sure stings a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to sting. I'm surprised that you took the bold courage to pronounce the entirety of the 5-letter lobby code that is UTRGV Esports. But look, the Cowboys come into this game again. Yes, they lost that round 11 that they just had off stream. But again, they got to 5 games in that series. So like, there's upsides, right? Obviously, they don't want to be at 1-2. This is to bring them back to 2-2 on the season overall. ICC, on the other hand, this is a team that I think is going to I don't know if surprise a lot of people is the right word, but I think they're a lot better than what people might be giving the credit for. I think this is one of the teams that doesn't really get talked about much. We had them a few years ago where they actually were a pretty decent squad, but since then we haven't seen much of ICC, so I'm excited that this team is back on the main broadcast.
Yeah, they dipped out for a little bit here in CCL, but back on the mainstream and back into the sights of a couple of us behind the scenes who's just been giving a little bit of a shout to this ICC roster. Not too shabby. I'm excited to see them play here versus UTRGV. But we look at our map set for the series, the best of 5, starting off on Hacienda, ending on Hacienda, the meat of things. We go to that Skyline Search and Destroy, Vault Control, Vault Hardpoint map number 4. And it's a pretty, I'd say, standard series from what we've been seeing, I'd say, throughout the CCL. Lots of teams starting to incorporate the Hacienda Search and Destroy for map 5s. We've seen it a couple times for map 2s. And kicking things off at the Hacienda hardpoint as well. This one's probably one of the more enjoyable hardpoint maps I've been enjoying lately.
I mean, yeah, it's the most standard COD map that we have in our entire map set for the year, so it's more fun to watch teams have to flip the map the way that they need it. It's fun to watch them have to strategize a little bit more than just like, all right, 20 seconds left, we're going to try and just work our way over on the right side of the map on Skyline, or hey, there's like 10 seconds left, we can probably hit ult and there's going to be no consequence for us because we're going to flip the spawns out on P3 regardless. So it's actually a fun, enjoyable map, and a lot of the teams are a little afraid of it because they haven't had to play a map like this in a while, and it's going to be something that towards the end of the year, if you can work it into your map pool and somebody doesn't auto veto it, it's going to be fun. I mean, honestly, like if you're gonna chalk it up in a series, I see Protocol being auto vetoed more than I do see Hacienda being auto vetoed, and if you can let that slip through the map pool again, it's gonna be good for your team. So more practice, the better you're gonna be at it. Why not do it on the main broadcast? You have some good VOD review to watch after as well.
Yeah, and after watching the those spawns and the vault hard point that we had back in our first series with was a little bit of a spawn change in season 2 that was noted in the patch notes, I wonder if it actually kind of switch things up for Hacienda too. So I'm going to be keeping my eyes on that card and being a little bit worried if Hacienda did get changed in that sense. But you're right to say that, Hacienda is kind of one of those maps that for some who like to follow the fundamentals of COD, it's going to be a strength. For others who are used to, running and gunning, breaking from the front and hitting those late rotation, it's probably not going to be one of your favorite maps to go to. So for both of these two teams, we get to see it sneak in for our map number 1. And I'm looking at this UTRGV team, the Cowboys, to see if they can pull things back after what was, I'd say, a little bit of a shot through the heart in that game number 5. But you got to be thinking that they're a little bit more warmed up than ICC is right now.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends if ICC were playing scrims or not, or if they were just kind of warming up in bot lobbies, whatever they might have been doing, or maybe they're just sitting there on their phones chilling. I mean, there's so many different options, so many opportunities.
They're doing their homework.
I know. I mean, they also were in an S&D, so, it seemed like they were playing a little bit apprehensive, so maybe not the most excited to go take a starting gunfight here on Hacienda. But look, we've been passive about it the whole time. I'm just going to say it straight up, no sugarcoating it. Teams that don't like Hacienda typically are the teams that kind of suck. All right, here we go. Junior on the left side, looking for the first dude in the gunfights. Go the way of UTRGV. So Texas Rio Grande Valley are going to be able to open up the doors here and hop into P1 first. From the outside by Rock, though, you got ICC looking to push their way in. They go 2 for 1 in the recent kill feed, but as Junior pushes into the point, it should be a contestant here for a moment. He's got help over the top, and this is going to be the first time they break into the point.
This is quite the matchup, too. Cowboys versus Pirates. We're going to be looking at Cowboys off to a good start in terms of objective time for this P1 hill. I like this from Taken. He's just going to post up, watch for the pressure from Yo. It's a good read, but Junior with some beautiful shots there. Going to find a read break for ICC now to try to look to flip things out. You can already see player number 5 Tricksta gonna be in behind, looking to flip these spawns, and it did actually split things out for the Cowboys, and you can see that Beretta is actually reacting to this one. See if you can find this player.
Silent in the back lines. Looking to make a route over by the Sword of the Vines. As Beretta looks to potentially try to have this gunfight taken, he actually dips inside of the office side, so he's going to go through the side door. Hum's going to try and break this one in through the front, directly slides in, has a teammate there. He took the bait, unfortunately, though. There's just two different players looking inside, so as Taken finds that second kill, his teammate looks to push down the interval as well. And if Junior can go ahead and maybe get some good timing on this, you could have an ICC break, but the last 30 seconds seems more and more likely it's going to go the way of Rio Grande.
Zero looking to get active up front. He's going to be shut down there by Tricksta. So one last shot from the Pirates to get a late break over towards P2. From the front, they get in, and you can see that spawn over towards Vines. Players from the Cowboys starting to work over towards this P3 rotation. Rillo alone in the back. See if he can fend off some of these members from Rio Grande Valley and lock down these back spawns for ICC. Unfortunately, Zero's going to get the better of that, and that's going to force some attention here from the Pirates to see if they can clean up the rest of them, but it's now Junior all alone with a late spawn from Hums.
Yeah, I like how he played his life right there. Because now you got the Cowboys trying to push their way forward. Unfortunately, he does really not get rewarded for the fruits of his labor, but it allowed the rest of ICC to start making the plays around the map to get into positions that they feel more favorable for themselves. So as Rilo is going to drop that down the staircase. Still got Tricksta here looking over the top, going to jump straight down into it. Shots wayward at first, but able to recenter and re-snap up top. Beretta has to back off in towards the safe harbor of middle map. And ICC, they finally have a good clean break from the front. It's going to be interesting. I don't know if Beretta saw him on a little hop up either, but there's Hums making his way through the middle of the map.
You can see 20 seconds of scrap that you're fighting for here if you're ICC. P2, you got the last 20 seconds there, and that's what got you to 30 seconds on that time bank. Now you're looking for the scrap time again to see if you can close this lead. They need a break. They need it off the start of these hills, because across hills 1, 2, and 3, they get no time throughout the majority, and they just playing for scrap. And UTRGV got off to a hot start. And now they're looking to just hold this lead and see if they can sail across this hacienda.
Tricksta will dip dive dodge back. The real problem is Zero, he played just the under route from the P3 to P4 rotation on the side that ICC was coming from. All it did was disrupt that push, slow them down a little bit. They lost numbers back over to P4. However, that also flipped the map to where P2 spawns were for ICC. So now they have full control of the middle map. They have control of P4, and they can push this out. Hums is in a great spot. If he can play his life here, they've got the block to where they're going to keep spawning them by Boathouse. So this is just a funnel right now for ICC to get great time.
A little bit of a slow on the break. Hums in a great spot to just continue this pressure from the outside. CJ in the hill. He drops, and it's 3 down for the Cowboys. Now you see ICC shutting this lead down, completely pulling themselves back in this P4 rock hill. And as we head into the second set, it's a marginal lead for ICC. But again, hills 1, 2, 3 for the Cowboys definitely looked a lot better than that fourth one. So in the second set, definitely going to look to see if they can kick things off the way that they started.
I mean, you look at 2 and 4 as the money hills, right? So, I mean, the Cowboys, they got the P2 money hill for the most part. ICC, they bounce back, they get P4. So, realistically speaking, I liked what I saw from ICC on that P4. You know, being able to play coordinated and know exactly where the side of a UTRGV is going to be spawning. A lot of that comes down to comms and being able to read the minimap. They did that perfectly. I want to see more of that right now. If they haven't dropped the kill in the feet in a minute, finally it will be the Cowboys who break back through, but the Pirates holding on strong in the water hill, which I guess makes sense.
Beretta for a chance to hit a little bit of a pinch on this hill. Rillo's going to catch that and actually shuts down the flank, and that's pressure inside. Hums looking to play his life. Unfortunately, he drops. His teammates pick up the kills around, and you can see them reinforce that hard point for the remainder of this time. And off the respawn, the Cowboys are going to pick things up and see if they can work through rock and try to play over towards P2. Nice shots onto Junior, and there's your go to get into the second hill.
I was going to say, there's the spawn out after that. If you're Junior, once you get weak and you recognize that second player's there, you have to back off and make sure you keep numbers on that right side of the map, unless you're going to allow our UTRGV to then flip it completely. They're lucky to win the gunfights in the back end. They put 4 down. You have full streaks if you are a Junior, but that is something that could be rather costly later in the game. Right now, if you're Rilo, you know exactly what you're doing too. This goes back to that P4 setup they had beforehand. They know on the map where to put themselves and where they can spawn the other team out to get the funnel.
Unfortunately, with Rilo here, it spawns the the Cowboys into the back, and they're able to... That's your teammate, Zero. You can't just shoot CJ like that. I mean, nice shots, all things considered, but looks like Zero's just killing everybody at this moment. 4 for 0, 5 including his teammate. Hum's the only one here to maybe look for the scrap time. He loses that. Junior trades it, but you still got players for the Cowboys there. 10 seconds for them to look to close this lead, and working over towards New. Beretta actually pulling spawns for his team.
Trickster looks to the corner. Common spot for somebody to be waiting for. So now as you look to the back line, somebody's going to spawn directly behind him. Trickster's not going to expect this whatsoever. He's going to have 2 bodies flying directly at him. They actually don't even spot him out, so he's able to walk away with 1 for free. The other one should challenge back here in a moment, but he does get collapsed on from the opposite end. Zero looking back over towards the hardpoint hill. Hum's trying to break his way out on towards top plat. Unfortunately, does not win the gunfight. So the lead's starting to collapse here. If you are ICC, the Cowboys have a great opportunity now to be able to capitalize on this P3 time. They just need to be careful as they hold down the sword.
Making great spot to put a couple shots down. Trickster with a nice little cover on that flank. Zero just continuing streak after streak. He's on 3 in a row. Make it 4. 21 and 16. The snap up top is going to be enough. No, 17 seconds here. It looks like ICC trying to play for the scrap yet again, but they need to be worried about this rotation. You can see the Cowboys starting to work over towards P4. It's a 2 versus 2 for the initial time at this new hill. CJ now, can he win things out? Slide out. Chow, and he's got it.
How long will they be able to hold? Last time, they had a few bodies on the opposite end. This time, they need to be careful of a pinch that's coming through because Trickster has an opportunity to be able to hit it out from the back. He's able to find 1, but the rest of the team needs to get there. He's gotten 2. Now ICC, as they push over from the P2 side, they have to win the trade battle. They're going to call the streak in, so that flank that comes through from Trickster is able to get 2. A few wayward nades are going to still hit for ICC, but regardless, that is how you execute a break. That was pretty.
That's the first time around it was Trickster for the break. Second time, same thing. Hellstorm coming in for the assist, and now it's all down to Beretta. He drops. Trickster again. 3 in a row, having himself a game, battling against Zero at the moment. 29 and 17, just takeover mode for the Pirates. Nice shots there from Taken, but 15 seconds that you're looking for here. This game is neck and neck heading into the 3rd set of rotations in Corn. I mean, you look at the time, still 2 minutes and 37 seconds with this being so contested. This is going all the way.
Can't ask for a better map 1 than this. Hacienda proving to be a good and deep map pool for both of these two teams. Well-executed maps and game plans from them in their respective rosters. As Taken looks over towards the right side, he's able to dip back, play his life. Although he's only at 22 and 23, high engagements, has had some very impactful kills throughout the course of this game. Junior will slide back in, shots just above the head of the player from UTRGV inside of the hard point. But as all 4 go down and mid-map is collapsed upon, ICC once again will break back in off spawn. They just need to look to the left for those players and those pesky Cowboys.
28 seconds here, taking another shot at this one. Just staying alive is Trickster inside the hill. Finally gonna drop, but it's enough for the teammates to get some eyes on this. Hums now slides in, another contest, and he's gonna find the finish onto Zero. You can see spawns in the back for Cowboys to P2, and immediately the Pirates gonna put some attention here through Secret. You get a spawn out for Zero, so technically speaking, a 4-on-3 for the rotation. Zero not able to finish this kill. Some scrap time there for Trickster, but you got the setup for the Cowboys. Hums gonna get him behind to disrupt. He actually pulls the spawn for Trickster.
This is how they broke last time for the Cowboys. Pirates going to get the spawns in close this time, and they just did not block the back quadrant. So if you're the Cowboys, that's a gross over miscalculation of where you needed to put yourselves on the map. ICC, they're going to get straight in through the back door because there was not a block inside of the spawn area. And now you look back over towards the rock. CJ's going to be the only one here to make a play on it because the side of the Cowboys, they're all spawning in middle. So 30 seconds left to play for. This is a big amount of time on a money P2.
It is oversights after oversights for the Cowboys where they could be leading by quite a large margin. ICC now flip things back into their favor. 20 seconds still. See if they can push it a little bit farther. And look how far back the Cowboys are spawning with 13 seconds. There is no shot you give another send at this hill too. And I like this from CJ. Look at it just play cutoff.
That's already 2 dead. but the spawn's going to be in ICC's favor. At least I thought they were going to be. See, this is why it doesn't make sense. Last time, it was the Cowboys who spawned over there. This time, ICC spawns all the way across the map, but they're going to create an artificial pinch play off of this. So it's actually not the worst thing in the world. And as Beretta follows all the way to the back end, he's got a big 1v1 that he loses. So Hums gives them the spawns. Everything is secure right now. The only thing that they have to look for is 0, and there it is. Top plat knocks him down. They're now just turn back around. Arrows will look to the front, and they just need to make sure they can't get collapsed upon. Rilo in a great spot to play contest.
ICC in a good spot to look to put this one away. You can't win off this hill, but you can get to a point where you're maybe looking to end it inside this 4th rotation, but 203 in is the Cowboys, and they're not going to let go of this one just for now. Fighting for the front, things are good. Another set of kills, and the Cowboys just not giving up. 15 seconds. Looking to see if they can flip things once again, heading into P4. 0, trying to cut off the players off respawn.
0 did this before, and it worked out perfectly. The problem is this time, though, he does it a little bit too haphazardly, gets aggressive early instead of waiting for the play to develop from ICC. Now it's going to be flips back out once again. Junior reads it, relays to the rest of the team. Hey, they're coming from the rock side. They're going to be by the boathouse. They're going to be making the push. Hums the middle map as the contestant player. He's got the trade immediately. 2, now 3 for him. Could make it number 4 here as he slides through. Beretta going to be on the push. 3 versus 3 at the hill.
They need a break. They need now Taken. He's in. Contest is out. Pinch from mid as well, though. Taken slides out as Trickster to put him down. 3 again. Trickster to save the day. 3 kills inside P4. And it looks like this is where Trickster just comes to take over. 15 seconds. That's all ICC needs for this map 1 to go their way. And there's plenty of time to end it on this hill. 4 for Trickster. Everybody flooding from the front. Nades, stuns, everything. And the kitchen sink getting thrown out by the Cowboys. Is it going to be enough to send this one to another rotation? It does not look that way. And ICC, it's contested to the end. They take it and they lead the series.
Bang out. All right. Yeah, hell yeah, brother. That's a good map that will get us going back again. And again, it really does go back to just a few key moments. It really feels like we say that after every hard point, but I think the meat and potatoes, you have to look to what ICC were able to do on rotations. There were plenty of moments that the side of the Cowboys did make some very solid plays. And those, for the most part, came in the way of rotations, little solo plays that allowed them to get a one-up on their opponent. But, I mean, you could see the double helix back and forth every single 3 to 4 hard points. And then at the end, it was just that last exchange from P3 to P4 where ICC were able to break it in. And I feel like that's where much of the momentum in this game kind of shifted, was that P4 hold initially that they had in the beginning of the game for ICC, and then the one there at the end, because each of the hills, like I said, very contest heavy, and they pretty much split P2 30-30 every time throughout the set of rotations. So all it came down to was just a few crucial holds from each of these rosters in ICC. For their own sake, obviously, we're able to do that just a bit better, but it was the breaks.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can highlight that enough. Like the 2 that I broke down mid-map, those were so well thought out, and it made me happy to watch it because we don't see that all the time.
And it's not even like just once it happened, but 3 times we had to P4, and Trickster finds a 3-piece to allow ICC into that hill. And like you said, I mean, that's just a great highlight on that's where the difference was. I mean, you look at the second set into the third set, P3 down to P1, and it's neck and neck, but I mean, just the rotations towards the end of the game where you saw the Cowboys started getting lazy. They weren't blocking those back quadrants to P2. They let ICC into major positions, some power spots where they can find those breaks. And it's like they let their foot off the gas towards the end. And it's a tough scene for, the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, after what was a very close Game 5, Round 11. They lose. They go into their next match. It's a hotly contested map 1. It doesn't go their way. And again, it's just, that's got to be frustrating, Corin. It's got to be super frustrating to the mental.
It absolutely does. I mean, it's just heartbreak after heartbreak. But you go back to an S&D, you go to a Skyline, and like, the thing is it's hard for me to, sit here on the broadcast and not put myself in the shoes of a player when it comes to like the mental capacity that you have to have, or you have to play it, especially at like the collegiate level. Like, some of these guys may have been competing for years. For the most part, it seems like both of these rosters do have a fair amount of veterancy under their belt in terms of just like how long they've played the game, because they seem to be playing at a higher level than what we've seen traditionally in some of the parts of the CCL. Not to put anybody down or any one team off by any stretch, but what I will say is, like, there's not a day that goes by on COD where you're not going to potentially get into a situation where you're down in a best of 5 series if you're playing whatever it could be, right? There's there's such a large scope of things to be doing every day in the Call of Duty community. So it's like mental ability is something that you have to learn first before really you can learn anything else. Because if you let yourself get chalked, your team vibes are off. If you let yourself get too caught up in a moment, you overchow and then you put your team in a bad position. So it's like you just have to keep yourself in a cool nature all the time. You can let momentum overflow you, but just don't let that, obviously, that negative mental aspect really get into or under your skin and affect the team. So going into the Skyline, I don't see a problem for the Cowboys. I think this is just another one of those things where they just have to reset and just view it as another map.
Yes, Pavine in the map 1 for the Cowboys, and Skyline has to be a regain for this team. I mean, we just saw them play this map 5 in their previous series. We were watching the stream from their coach or manager who's putting it on for us and allowing us to see it as well. And I think UTRGV, you're going to be sitting there. You just played this one. Talk about what went wrong. Talk about what could be fixed. I think there was a couple rounds there towards the end where they actually forced the round 11 where you saw those aggressive stints, and they're able to actually dictate those first bloods, get to the site, put that bomb down. It's just that round 11, they again take their foot off the gas in those important moments, and they slow down and they allow their opponents to just kind of walk all over them. And after watching ICC in that map number 1, and specifically Tricksta finishes 41-26, disgusting stat line out of himself. If you let him run through the Skyline, which he will try to, it's a player that you do not want to let get hot again, because he was in full takeover to the end of that Hacienda.
Yeah, I mean, individual plays on Skyline are a lot of what this comes down to, unless you can sort of practice an opening break. And I mean, if we're going to be completely honest, most of the breaks on this, or most of the opening sets are more or less Ipsiliform on Skyline, and that's just more or less like a Y shape. You got two here, maybe one playing them, but like the back line, like one or two. You have your initial split, and then somebody's probably gonna be playing somewhere in middle map. So like, unless you're sending 3 to bar and 1 out to the pool side just to look over piano, it's either gonna be all 4 one way, or you're gonna split 2-2. That's it. And that's how most of the S&D maps have been throughout the entirety of this year. Maybe not as much last year, but there were still some maps where like things felt mundane and repetitive, and I hate the way that it feels, just because I loved Search and Destroy when like you could get creative, you could have a bunch of different opening breaks. And it also doesn't help that at the level that we were watching in the CCL, a lot of teams still don't have the, I guess, practice is the best word, to put nades in good spots, double, triple nade off a spot, or be able to come off spawn and know where those tacticals or lethals early on in the early portions of the round are going to need to land. I can't tell you how many times, we see 1v1s, 1v2s at the end of the games, or it just comes down to late situations where people still have tons of utility left. And it's just like, if you're not using your utility once a life, once a round, once everything, if you don't empty your pockets out, you're wasting all of that information that you could be getting, or getting somebody weak from. So that's just another level of gameplay that people don't necessarily factor in all the time, that could be so influential. And on a map like Skyline, being able to clear those different angles off instead of just kind of throwing a Semtex or throwing a frag wherever you want to, being able to calculate with your team and be able to set something up, that's the most important.
You got to use what you got, use them ordnance, throw them willy-nilly, see if they catch something on the map. Well, fortunately for the Cowboys, you're heading into this one against ICC. They're 0-2 in Search and Destroy after week number 1. Not sure how their first game of the day went, but that is how they were sitting after their games last week. So definitely seems like this is a chance where they can pull things back after losing that Hacienda. And you can see on the offensive side, they actually get the bomb down at A, and then they all lose their 1v1s.
Well, I mean, ICC, they let the A site go for free. They had like one person playing back grill, just kind of watching for anybody sliding over, giving the call out like, hey, they're here. The other 2, they sent 2 catwalk, and then they had another player that was just kind of playing a middle map contestation over by the piano side. Once they got the first one killed and the bomb went down, they knew we had a 3v4. We can just fall back on the site, and Hums popped the double and was watched from over the top. That's cut and dry, just a simple good round from ICC. Yeah, there's really nothing to break down.
No, I mean, it is just flawless on the retake there. So ICC practiced here on Skyline, showing it off on their defense. We swapped to the attack, and we can see what the Cowboys got cooking for themselves here off the break. They're going to send Taken over towards Barbecue, see if you can watch this early presence through the bottom. It's a fast play from Beretta across the catwalk. He's looking to get active in behind, but it looks like there's some players not going to be ready for this at all. Plays it right. The trickle discipline's good for 2. Bomb is down. We're in a 3v2.
Trickster should get some good timing on the back end here, and he will. So evens it out. Rilo across the map's able to walk away with 1. And now if you're 0, you're the last alive. You know somebody's laying down up top, and he is ready and waiting for the hop up from the backside of spawn. So ICC rattle off another round. 2 straight, an offense and a defense to tag on to each other. Discipline across the map. Nobody overchalling when they need to. They win a 2v3.
You gotta think. I mean, that's a moment where Beretta goes big for 2 kills. You just needed your teammates to stay alive there. And if you do, I mean, that double kill really sets things up for defensive wins. So, sure, a little bit of frustration there from a big play out of Beretta, but now ICC playing some picture-perfect search and destroy, at least in the end games of that round. Relo 3 kills in a row. Tricksta on 2. Head back over towards A for 0. And he's actually going to be caught by a couple players. Stuns, nades. He's trapped. This should be an easy pickup there, and it is.
Yep.
So the nade's going to finish things off. Beretta goes down for first blood.
Just like that. Being smart about it. Weakening somebody up. Throwing that lethal over the top. You have teammates to help trap that player as well. As Tricksta's now on 4 in a row. You've got a 7 combined between 2 players on the side of ICC. If you look to Taken, who's last alive once again, things have just not been fluent at all. It's just, 1, it's not winning gunfights. 2, ICC is spreading out on the map so much, and they're winning those individual gunfights. But it's weird because the way that they're spreading the map at the moment, they're also playing in tandem. So, like, even if somebody's spread out over by, like the piano side, you have somebody up top that's ready for a trade if necessary. So they're always putting 2 bodies on 1, even though they're doing a full wide coverage of the map. It's nice.
I mean, it just seems like there's so many compromised angles you see from the Cowboys in that round alone. I mean, there's no reason why 0 should be sliding to A and there isn't a second player in closet watching Jim or somebody up top, making sure that you're watching over the entirety of middle map. And it's just that lack of communication and setup and missed timings that you lose that first blood pretty easily. And Tricksta's, again, just having his way. 5 in a row. However, finally, opening kills go to the Cowboys, and now Tricksta's got to get a little creative.
Gets out of dodge. And if I'm completely honest with you, like, in this scenario, I really wouldn't mind Tricksta and Junior just trying to play their lives, or maybe Junior trying to bait out for Tricksta. I mean, you'd love a Hellstorm.
You would.
To be able to call in here.
Hellstorm's a little weird, though, in BO6. I mean,
it is.
It's a score streak. It doesn't really come down to how many kills you get all the time, and I can never really track it down, but Tricksta ends up going down, so it doesn't matter, and finally we get a round of the board for the Cowboys.
Really came down to that opening break. Cowboys spotted 1 on the catwalk. Got him weak. Forced Tricksta to have to back off. Everybody else that started making the push out on the offensive end, they got aggressive towards the pool, and it was a stack that actually wasn't over towards bar this time. It was the first time they didn't really stack that many players on it, which is kind of a surprise, but a good thing in the right direction. It's showing change on the map and the ability to be a bit flexible, a bit more malleable in the play calls that they're making as a team. So like to see that going forward throughout the rest of this map. Obviously, on the offensive end, they've tried to bring this bomb over towards the hay site plenty of times. This time, they're going to send 2 up on towards the top catwalk. 0's going to be there. They need to be careful, though, because they've got 2 players up inside of B, but the first one goes to 0. Breton, the last one. Now, Tricksta's forced to back off. Once again, 2 players from ICC left alive, and in the back end, Rilo's able to snap on a 1.
It's good pace. It's 2v3, though. Taken finds another. It's all down to Rilo. 1v3. He's going to zip up. He actually gets a timing onto the bomb planter, but not going to get away or have a chance at the second one. So that is 2 in a row from the Cowboys, and 2 very clean rounds. Just, I like the pacing coming out from them. You know, they, instead of just slowing things down and allowing ICC chances at just hitting routes across the map, they really take it into their own to actually flood these lanes themselves, have chances at the fights, and they overwhelm some of the members on ICC unexpectedly. So big kills coming out from big players there out of the Cowboys.
They started double stacking. Like, there were solo chows across the board, and they're like, all right, hey, if we double stack this, we'll probably be able to walk away with 1. That's exactly what's been happening. So you got 1 playing inside of Jim. Tricksta, unfortunately, the stun's going to be able to clean him up. So now you're looking at a 2v4 off rip as Rylo is able to walk away with another one. Zero stuck in his spawn side up in the B side. You got Hums down below on the piano. Spots the one as he drops down. So you go 1 for 1 there, 2 for 1. Still a doable 1v2. You got 100 HP, 4 spree here from Zero as well. So as the bomb goes down, Trickster and Junior need to be careful. They have an idea of where he is, but not 100% sure.
Oh, 4 in a row. Can he make it 6 in a row? Noise being made by Zero. Chances to at least disrupt the setup, but I like this play from Trickster. Just going to completely back up, and Junior gets the information. Drops Zero to 9 HP. 22 seconds to make the impossible happen, and Trickster's actually going to move forward. So here's the chance for Zero to get in and get Mixy, but not able to even find the first one. So, and as ICC on the bounce back, they regain their 2-round lead.
Gave himself a shot at it, I'll be honest. It was a college try. I thought for a moment he might get the good timing on him. Once he slipped the knot, got away in the backside of hedges, they're kind of wondering, like, all right, where's the wrap going to come from? Is he going to hit the same way? No way he hits the same way again. He's going to try and wrap this somewhere else. And that's that double think of like, okay, I'm going to second guess real quick. They make it stick. They get it done. Able to reclaim that 2-round lead that they had previous. On the offense, last time it was double stacks on both sides. 2 played up towards top cat. It doesn't look like they want to hit this out towards A directly again. Zero slides directly through, has the help of his teammate there, so it's already a 4v2. These are the situations that ICC have not been able to scrap together. And as Hums backs up to his teammate, they're going to play together, but the bomb's going to go down at A.
Yeah, I like this. They get the kills, they push them forward, force ICC to react, and then pivot back to A. Bomb down, 2v4. Will have to be the retake for the Pirates. Hums and Junior looking for some angles. Nice shots from Junior there. Would have loved to get that kill into the player towards the bar, but instead it just forces the attention of Cowboys to react to this one. Hums finds an angle to the player anchoring. Beretta goes down. Whittles things down to 2v3. Now 2v2. You find that on Zero. You have a chance at the retake, but now it's just down to Junior. 14 health. Scrambling to find any value, but you see that the Cowboys put it away. Fantastic round from themselves. Bring this back to a 1-round gap.
If Hum snaps just a millimeter down further, he probably walks away with that gunfight. And then you're looking at a 2v1 instead. 2v1 goes the way of the Cowboys. And in a round that was a 4v2, I mean, that really shouldn't be winnable for ICC by any stretch of the imagination. It's a map like Skyline, where you get caught out once, timing doesn't go your way, all of a sudden, round feels almost impossible, even if you're the team with the 4v2. So here we go back again. ICC on offense. They're going to bring this one straight over towards the bar. They recognize that, hey, Cowboys have been sending a lot of pressure over towards the pool side for these last few rounds. They'll walk away with a first blood. Junior gets ripped off the head.
Yeah.
The bomb is down. 45 seconds is the restriction here on the Cowboys, and they're getting aggressive on this post plan.
Blade flank coming out, seeing if they can catch a timing, but it's a second kill from Taken, and Beretta finds the second of the round. So Trickster alone, 30 seconds to make something out of nothing, and there's the first step. 1v2. Bomb down at A. Rotations in and around. They're on the defuse. Trickster not able to find the last one. CJ just pops up in the low HP of Trickster. Puts things away for the Cowboys to tie us back up on Skyline.
And that's a 50-50 play. You have no clue if he's going to stick that defuse. You don't know how long he's been on it. You just have to try and sprint there, because if that is, you know, just a millimeter away from being completed, or you have a second left on that defuse and you can't get there, you're going to hate yourself forever for trying to play that gunfight or play it a bit more passive. So I love the play from CJ. Makes note of it, pops up, knows he's weak from his teammates' call out. Is able to walk away with a 1 versus 1. And they stick that defuse. So will look like a decent round from ICC, thwarted initially by that Junior first blood. And then that retake onto the site. A delayed flank that almost worked out perfectly for the Pirates, unfortunately, now finds us at 4-4. Left side challenge, and has to slide back into the entertainment side of the bar. Beretta once again walks away with the first blood. That's the 3rd and 4 rounds.
0, 7, and 5. So Cowboys starting to pick up some pacing here, at least in the aggressive column, taking the follow-ups. So 2 again for ICC, finding themselves in a 2v4 retake. Round after round, Rillo and the team kill. That's going to make matters even worse. 1v3, Rillo bashing around these glass, making any noise to try and distract, but you can see that the Cowboys, they've already found their corners, and they're just waiting for Rillo to show himself.
seen this one before. Laying down over by the table, waiting for somebody to push over through hedges, and now at match point, they've rung off a few straight rounds to get to the spot where they can now tie the series up 1 apiece against this ICC roster. Their demons are hotter than last time. It was around 11 for the Cowboys that they lost earlier on today. They had to come back from a 3-5 margin. This time it's a 3-4 deficit that they had been faced with. Now at 5-4, ICC going back to offense. They've been dangerous so far, but they've been caught off a few rounds recently. Just on those first bloods, playing a bit over-aggressive. We'll see if it pays off for them this time or if they'll get picked again.
Looking to even up the series off of the second map. ICC still showing some struggles in the search and destroy, it looks like, after what was losing both of them back in week number 1. Bomb down at A. ICC looking to send this one to around 11 with this post-plant setup. Hums finds the first blood, immediately traded out. 3v3. Junior now. Couple shots down, but it's just peppering the damage onto these players. It's Tricksta looking to be the difference maker in through the middle of the map. He makes it a 1 versus 2. Him and Rillo. Now just Rillo in the 1v1 with time on his hand. Just needs to play the objective, and enough. He gets the jump on the last player, and we're going the distance.
Dude, oh, that's big nut energy right there. My lord. I was like, okay, Rillo, I'm like, you've got the bomb planted for your side. You got 20 seconds to play around. I mean, you could wrap this into the bedroom and play some good timing on it. Instead, he just pushes up, says, you know what, I'm gonna ego challenge.
Yeah.
Takes the pair out, says, screw it, I'm going in. And he gets the kill, walks away with it, sends it to around 11. So, demons beware. Once again, we find ourselves in around 11 with the Cowboys on the verge of being down 0-2 in the series. It's not series defining or ending this time around, but it's definitely going to make it a whole hell of a lot harder if they're not able to clutch up here.
Right, down to a 1v1, especially when you get first blood and bomb down right away. You can see that the Cowboys trying to grind things through this map number 2. First blood traded. 0 coming crashing on into the gym. 9 and 6. There's the follow-up to give them a little bit of an advantage in numbers. That's going to slow down the Pirates here. Hum's in trouble. He's got some traffic coming through, and Taken's just going to sideline him. It's down to Relo again. 1v3 this time. He's got the route in behind, but everybody shoulder to shoulder inside the site. Do or die for the map. He makes it a 1v2, gets out, and has a second chance at it.
Does he play the elevator? Does he rush straight back in through the front doors? Stun over the top, should be able to find info on 1, but it doesn't hit anything, so now he's going to second guess himself. He's going to try peek over towards the right-hand side, but they have all the information that they need. Spots one out in the left side corner. Pre-fire shot's not going to be able to connect. 20 seconds left here in the round. Tries to slide back, snaps over to the right. CJ can't win the gunfight against him, and the Cowboys redoing right their wrongs. They finally win a round 11 here on Skyline. They'll tie the series up at 1 apiece.
And that's one way to bounce back after losing the Skyline search in your last series. It goes to around 11 again. This time you have the ice, and really it's off of the shoulders of Zero and Taken, just constantly finding those first bloods for the team, putting yourselves in 4v2s, having the advantage in the round. I mean, just look at the back half of that game. First bloods for the Cowboys. And yeah, I mean, you get a first blood, you win the round, Corn, and you can see towards the end there, it's just nonstop pressure from the Cowboys to get the job done. Tie us up in the series, and I mean, that's twice now you and I are gifted a map 4.
Well, it's going to be on a vault, so I don't know if I'd necessarily say it's a gift. But no, genuinely speaking, the first 3 rounds, it felt like ICC just kind of had the number for the Cowboys every round. It never felt like there was a lane that went unchecked. It never felt like there was a gunfight that they weren't ready for a double up on or for a good trade. After that 3rd round, they were able to ring off 1. It was 4-1, then it was 4-2, and I was like, okay, well, things are starting to get a little bit better here. And as the Cowboys kept having that ball rolling forward, the momentum kept swinging in their favor.
Yeah.
They got more confident to challenge the gunfights. I think at the first few rounds, they were a bit apprehensive until the ball started to get rolling. And then once everybody kind of found their individual footing and those first bloods started ringing home, that's when we really felt a difference for the Cowboys opposed to the Pirates. Where
I agree.
Instead of it being where they had to play off their back foot and wait for the ICC roster to make a mistake or get too aggressive, they were the ones taking the gunfight, pressing it forward, and not being afraid to challenge a head glitch or a power position that's almost 50-50 in some natures.
I will say I do agree that I think those first 3 rounds felt a little lackadaisical for the Cowboys, and possibly that's off of just tough losses from that map 5 and then transitioning into that map 1 Hacienda. But once they got their footing going, I mean, we saw the full force of what these Cowboys can offer. So up next with this vault control, I mean, I'm looking to see if Zero can recreate what we just saw in that search and destroy, because he really was the difference maker on a lot of those attacking rounds, just spearheading the push through Jim, getting in behind Piano, finding that first blood, getting through the spawns as well, and really just distracting ICC, letting the rest of your team follow up and get into those power positions to shut them down. So I mean, fantastic plays from the Cowboys. When the going got tough, they finally put it away. They got that ice and corn. That means we get that map 4 vault. Say it's a gift. It's always a gift when we get these close games. But for vault control, we're going to have to see who is going to get that split map mode combo and take the lead in this series. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more College COD to finish our night. Welcome back, everybody, to College COD, late night College COD, as we're getting into the late hours here on the East Coast. It's 12 a.m., Corn, for you and I. Both these teams gifting us a game number 4. Before that, we get a vault control coming up, and both of these two teams, they have played things down to the wire. I'm expecting this one to go to round 5.
Honestly, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And at this point, it kind of feels like it will. And I am 100% with you there. You also had a perfect opportunity to say into the AM streaming now. But you know how to do it. Shameless. If Logan Lewis was still here, he would be in the chat saying,
I missed that. I missed that. That's on me.
I do too. Where's Logan? I need to know where Logan is, because if he's not he's not asleep, is he?
He's definitely asleep. He's got a 9 to 5.
You think that he does have a 9 to 5? You're right. I do too, but I'm here, and you're here, and we're all here. We're all having a good time. ICC, they had a good time in the first hard point. Not so much in the search and destroy there after the round 11 woes, but now that we have ourselves tied up at a 1-1 series, the Cowboys look feisty. They look good. They look tantalizing, if you will.
I may, and I do agree with that one. And I think, again, I'm just going to reiterate what I was saying after the search and destroy, is that when you look at this vault control and you're looking at, players in, I'd say, the Cowboys to really step up once again, I look at Zero, look at Taken, and the way that they were able to kind of seize control of that Skyline search and destroy. If they can kind of find that pacing here on vault control, you definitely look to see if they can actually set a spawn trap up here on the defense. But on the other side, Pirates, you still got to worry about Tricksta. He went 41 and 26 in map number 1. Don't expect him to slow down anytime soon.
Snap back to the right. Hum's looking to take out the trash in the back end. Looks to snap back to the left. Unable to make anything work. So Cowboys in mid-map right now. Just kind of playing their lucky cards. ICC still trying to break in on the offensive side. CJ just going to fly out to the spawn end. Looking for a few stragglers that might be here. If you're Rilo spawning over by pool, you need to recognize, hey, somebody's in our spawn right now. We should probably take care of him. And then they do.
There's 2 down, and already ICC looking at pressure towards B. Tricksta has been sitting here soaking up some progress, and Hum's in their spawn. Another double kill coming through from the offense here. Beretta looking to see if he can clean up this progress over at B, and he is going to get the better of Tricksta, but you still got to worry about Hums. He's just been an issue in your spawn. See Beretta doing his best at least to play in towards that lower sanction of vault, but with a good set of kills there, ICC ready to stack the zone. B is almost gone.
They had one that was trying to play over by A, and then they sent the rest over to B. But, I mean, in the back end right now, Junior just whiffs on a knife. I mean, that's 2 ticks already on the B zone. They're going to be able to probably get the second tick of progress here on A as well. It is a 3-man collapse that comes in, and just before they were able to... Actually, no, they get it. Okay. So I thought for a moment it was going to be just before. Instead, they get the progress. Now in through the vault, Hums is looking back over towards his right-hand side. Snaps back over to the left of you. They should be able to clean up these last remaining players, and all the while, Rylo's just by himself over on B, trying to make the last bit of progress.
Good takedown there for the Cowboys, but you can see that A is going to get captured. Minute 30 to head over towards B. You still got a player in your spawn to worry about. You just don't know where Hums is. Another double kill. He's 10 and 2. Just an absolute menace in the base of the Cowboys. That B zone, it's stacked. It's almost gone. Zero, the only one here to really stop it, but ICC just jump back onto the zone, capture it, and take an offensive win to kick things off on Volt.
And when you said it's almost gone, I was like, yeah, I was about to be like, yeah, it's gone. It's gone. It's over.
It's a lot more convincing than I thought it was. Would have
11
been.
and 2, by the way. So yes, if you were wondering if he was going to continue his reign from the first hard point in map 1, you would be absolutely correct.
However,
as he can make it work with the Jackal and the AR.
It's Concaster bug. That's Hums who was 11 and 2, not Trickster.
Or is it?
No, it is.
Or is it?
No, it is.
Or is it?
Ah.
Look, I can't give Hums the credit. I can't give Hums the credit. He was getting rounded by Gump every 128. I'm kidding. I'm playing, but I had to. I had to throw it in there. I told you I would at some point. And I got it in.
You did say you'd put it in there.
And I'm happy.
McCormiel is a lot of things. He ain't a liar, though. So, we get the 8 stack from the Cowboys, ready to turn things into a different gear now onto their offense. A is already being worked on for the second one. Hum's going to be spotted up top. Can he find some shots? He will. The assistance there from the rest of the squad to go down. A-Zone stopped at the margin for this third one, but a pop-up from Zero. They're back on the zone, looking to clean things up and add an early minute to that clock.
6 in a row looking for number 7. Snaps to the doorway. Hum slides in and is able to make quick work of the final player there from the Cowboys, pushing their way forward. Taken, going to get some good shots into top art. Going to back that player up. So the entire north side of the map kind of controlled right now by the Cowboys. There are going to be a few kills that come in from ICC, and they'll be able to hop on this zone to at least drain that little tick of progress that they initially had on it. Taken will fall back into middle map, probably going to drop to the vault, and the rest of the teammates now starting to spread thin all the way through the P3 side of the map. They'll push up, trying to get shots onto Rilo. 2 players now stacking the point. Need to be careful very quickly. This could turn bad for ICC.
Somebody's got to learn to play defense on Vault, because so far the offensive teams have just been taking control. Siege with a little bit of bad timing towards the bottom of Art. And ICC looking to find some route back out of their spawn. You can see they're looking for some assistance, at least from Hums, who is trying to spawn kill some of the members of the Cowboys themselves. Car bomb onto Zero, and the clearance is in for Reload. So another chance here for the Pirates to actually set up their defense, but kills for the Cowboys still showing up. Beretta takes down Tricksta. Zero is going to look to now hop on the zone.
Junior forced to back off. They're going to be cooked. First tick of progress in and good. 13 HP from Beretta. Backs off to the vault, or at least tried to before the Semtex connected. 2-1. Now on the back end, Hum's looking to make himself a flank. Could get into the spawn to disrupt this. They're going to be spawning over by P2, so they should know that somebody's pushed up in their spawn.
They should, but will they pick it up? Hums is just going to try to whittle things down, and here he is, 14 and 7. Making things 9v6 now. A couple players trying to catch him out, and he snaps onto Taken. So 5v8, 42 seconds. I mean, this is control, Corn. We've seen things like this fall to the wayside plenty of times in Black Ops 6. This could be one of those moments.
Zero trying to play around, dancing on the tree. 2 lives of separation as he pushes into the middle of the map. Gets shots onto 1 pillars, knocks him down. 3 versus 6. Junior should be able to trade it, but no. Zero slides on him in the vault. And now as he steals his pockets and runs him up, he can get back out onto the B zone. Halfway through the second tick, 2 versus 4, trying to fly their way forward. The Cowboys trying to hold it on. 17 seconds remain.
Second segment being worked on here. The stacks out. Reload gonna try to make a play. Hums providing some semblance of Overwatch, but you're hoping to at least stop this last segment from getting captured. Gives his life away. The Cowboys will even things up, but in terms of objective, Corn, gotta note that that last segment was not captured by the Cowboys, so it is still 6-5 in terms of segments in favor of ICC. So at the end of it, I mean, if you're looking for a silver lining, that's it.
Lots to talk about as we get to the end portion of this game. Things to think about. Philosophical in nature. Like, what came first? Hum's not making it past 128, or an ICC win in hardpoint?
Well, historically, we know which one came first.
But philosophically, that's the difference.
In this conversation, it was the hard point this time.
Or was it?
It's too late to deal with you right now, I will say. As one of these two teams has to learn how to pick up a defense on Volcorn. I think that is one thing we've learned across these two rounds, and it looks like the conversation is still going to stay true as the stacks on A. Another set of kills for ICC. You're looking for a way in right now if you're the Cowboys. Zero trying to slide in from close. He's going to pick up double kill, and with the team behind him, this should be the break back in.
They're going to be able to sit there. And now they can push out towards the spawn side. It's 3 straight kills for the Cowboys. Hum's forced to play the staircase, waiting off of spawn, and they have no idea that somebody's out over by Palms. Trigger Discipline was good, but he doesn't realize that somebody's sliding out. Trickster was able to get the best of him with the Jackal, and now as he pushes in towards middle map, this should be good enough information to allow them to get this final capture on the A zone. So an extra minute will be added, drop down into the vault, and now they can push back out towards B. ICC have done a wonderful job of being able to orchestrate these offensive pushes. Can they do it one more time to make this 4-man push stick on B?
Touchdown, and that clock is going to be stopped at a minute 45. You can start to see some of these members of the Cowboys look to get aggressive, but of course it's Hums and Art. He's going to be spawning them over towards P4. The immediate recognition from CJ is going to turn around and stop that presence. Zero with some shots through mid. He takes down the player planter as well. So what was once a life lead for ICC by at least 4 lives, it has completely been shut down now. 15v14 in favor of the Cowboys.
Stun out towards Palms, trying to get information to see if anybody's hiding out there. Few stragglers left coming off the spawn side now. Hums gets taken out by a car, and now jumping into the middle map. Junior tries to snap back over towards the left with the Jackal.
Zero.
Too good from Zero. Beretta pushing the spawn side, looking out towards the left. Checks the right side as well. Knows they're going to be spawning over by ammo. He just caught the god timing to get behind a couple players, and he should be able to take out this final player up top, but he jumps down instead.
Sneaky, sneaky. Beretta finally coming awake here on the defense are the subs of the Cowboys. Did somebody leg out?
I think so.
Uh-oh.
But it's a 3v4. And could you imagine if they were able to win this? Okay, dude, wait.
Wait.
Huh?
1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, somebody did lag out.
Somebody did lag out, so I think they're going to play this round down. It's still 9 versus 8. 2 ticks of progress here on B. They're trying to fly back over towards it. Beretta's able to find one. They might be able to contest this here for just a moment. Junior shots, tries to snap back over towards the right. They're able to clear it off. 35 seconds left in a 7v5. I mean, I don't know if it's a 75. We'll call it for the moment, though.
I mean, it is a 3v4, and the Cowboys have the perfect chance to stun this one out. You can see a flank coming in from Trickster. A couple members looking to collapse on this hill through Vault as well, as Brad is going to rotate around, see if he can find a different angle. The stack on point, but still kills flowing. 3v5. Pirates are in. 18.2, and the stack puts it away. It is a terrible time to find yourself in a 3v4 if you are the Cowboys. That was a defensive round in the making, Corn. That is going to haunt you.
It's gonna haunt them. I don't know why Taken was playing so far pushed up into the spawn side on the opposite end.
He was deep.
He was in there deep, and I'm like, it's great to be in deep, but like, where do you go if you're in too deep, you know?
He was as deep.
And it comes back to the philosophical questions we were talking about beforehand. This is what happens when it passes 12 o'clock in the nighttime, and we're just vibing out here. It's a new day, new us, new friendships.
Oh, yeah.
But the same old friends, Colin.
Same old friends. It looks like we're going to be sticking things out for that round, though. Unfortunately, I think, you know, when you look at the rules, it is you're halfway through that round, somebody legs out, you got to play things out. So that is very unfortunate for the Cowboys, now looking to be down 2-1 as we load back into this Vault control, Corn. But I think for you and I think while we get things kind of situated and figured out, this is a good time for us to step away, take a couple breaths, and
I think so.
We'll come back with this Vault control when everything's situated, folks. Welcome back, everybody, to the control. After we get things set up, it will stand 2-1 for ICC heading into this replay. So the Cowboys gonna have to dig deep now back onto the offense to see if they can push things to around 5 and then recreate what they had going before the leg out did happen. So ICC on the defense looking to put things away and see if they can spin things back into their advantage.
4-0 from Hums. on a 4 spree right now. Looking for one to drop down from the top. Beautiful snapshots are going to connect. Survives with 50 HP. Tries to challenge for the last one. Would have been for 6. Could have potentially even been for a Hellstormed attack on top of it. Unfortunately, though, no utility to use here from ICC, but they do have a 1 life, now 2 life advantage as that continues to keep going forward. 2 ticks of progress on the A zone should be completed here in just a moment, and finally will be. So working closer to adding that extra minute on the clock. B has been completely cut back down to nothing. So it's going to be ICC looking to continue to hold this Cowboys roster out of A.
C0 wants to get active through the lobby. Off the respawn, you spawn up P2, and you are trapped right now if you're the Cowboys. 0 goes down inside the point. It's just CJ push forward. 3rd tick nearly done. Big win there on the inside of the zone, and it gets captured. ICC, I mean, you're spawn trapping them. How do you let that happen?
Let one get loose. And instead of anybody turning around at the guy CC, we're all just kind of like, just keep spawn trapping them. But it could come back to shoot them in the back. So we'll see what happens here for the final portions of the round, but they've got one on the B zone at the moment. We'll look to swap to the AR here to try and challenge out here towards left. That could have not have been a worse decision to make, as an SMG would have won the gunfight there, or somebody sliding into the backside of your art building. 5 bullets left here from Beretta. 2 players playing inside of art right now. Surprised that he has not been found out yet, because I thought that was a teammate walking by him. Finally, he'll get cut down over by Palms. There's 1, but they got 2 players inside of vault trying to stack the zone.
Yeah, X-Ray, and I thought that was a teammate too, but here's Tricked up. Can he find the break? Yes, he can. Aims in hand. 9v14. Second segment wasn't locked in, and you're right back into the spawn trap, it looks like, for Junior. Trying to push the issue here. 0 going to get sent back off that spawn. And you can see that Cowboys now need to slow things down, see if they can find an angle back into this one. For a second, I thought Taken was going to overextend through P4, but he backs up to mid, and it looks like Cowboys trying to find these members in their spawn.
Junior back into the doorway. Stun check down below. One's going to be hopping up. Bad timing for 0. Unfortunate there for the Cowboys, as they have no respawns remaining. So 4 versus 13. Again, ICC up 2-1 here inside of the control. If they win this round, they take a 2-1 series lead. Taken on the outside, trying to push their way forward. They need to stack on the B zone, but they need to be careful because the spawns are close. Beretta in the backline will walk away with 1, but it's going to be a pinch back on him. Now a 3, now 2 versus 11. It's seeming more and more likely that ICC will take the round.
Taken inside vault. Beretta up top. You lose art control, and Taken about to get pinched from the vault itself. So ICC coming off what is a very draconian round number 3. They're going to take the win here on vault control, take the series advantage as well, 2-1. And it just seems like for the Cowboys, Corn, anything that can go wrong will go wrong at this moment. That is something that I'm sure they'd love to get back.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, because that brings us back to the philosophical topics of Murphy's Law. And I'm glad that we can finally get ourselves back into that conversation, because it's what I've been dying for this whole time. Just to talk about something deep, man, something intellectual. Just really stim my brain up a little bit, find the submissive parts of me, and lay them down on the sidewalk like a bit of chalk. Yes, chalk.
You done?
Washed away by water. Never to be seen again.
Talking about things that will be seen again. Vault Hardpoint up next. It's one thing I'd say, going back and looking at the series, I'm excited to see another Hardpoint, Corn, because 250 to 222 in the last one, and you got to think back at that Hacienda. I mean, I know it was a very long time ago for the two of us, but Cowboys were pretty much in control for a lot of the rotations. It just was up until the last few hard points that they let the ICC flip those spawns. Trickstick goes huge for P4 breaks, and things get a little bit out of hand there for the Cowboys. I mean, you run that back, Cowboys had just as much a right to win that map number 1. So going to this vault hard points, this is definitely something where they can clutch things up and send us to a map 5.
It absolutely can be. I think there were some moments that felt a bit miscalculated. I do want to bring back up the fact of ICC, though, and what they were able to do in that first map. Hacienda obviously plays a lot different than Vault. You're going to have a lot more of those chaotic moments where those very single individual plays are going to be a lot bigger in terms of what the map impact is, just because of every gunfight being that much more important. but realistically speaking, I think back to the P2 hold, or the P2 break, excuse me, and the P4 hold that kind of either brought them back into the game or allowed them to level up and win the game. First and foremost, that P2 push, they read the spawns perfectly, but they were able to hold it. And then one person extended out over towards the rocks and then spawned the Cowboys over by the vines in P3. So they had to push through middle map to break, and they simply couldn't do it. And then over by P4, it was the same thing that held true. They pushed the players into middle map. They pushed them far enough back over by P2 where the spawns couldn't flip. And then they funneled everybody through boathouse and middle map. That allowed them to hold those 2 points down. And it was that map awareness that allowed them to have a usurping ability of the Cowboys and then hold those hills down to eventually give them that win. Now, the game was close. Let's be candid about it, because, you know, the scoreline was a lot closer than, you know, what I'm kind of like panning it out to be, right? There were cracks in the ICC armor that the Cowboys were able to expose, and a lot of those moments where they felt like they should be able to block those spawns, in the moments where they felt like they should have that map controller, they knew where the Cowboys were coming from, the Cowboys would throw kind of like a bootleg play at them and either send all 4 through one way, or maybe not play as orthodox as ICC would have hoped for. And I want to see them dig or play into that a bit more in this map 4 on Vault. I want to see them just throw bodies. I want to see them double chow things. I want to see them just play a bit weird, catch ICC off guard. I think that's going to be keys to success for them in map 4.
Abstract, if you might say, heading into map number 4 for the Cowboys.
Rather.
Yeah, rather a little bit abstract for that. But I mean, even you run back that control, thinking back to round number 3, Cowboys were in full control of that defensive stand. They were spawn trapping ICC. If not for that spawn out or that leg out, it's probably 2-1 for the Cowboys. Goes to a round 5, and then it's a toss up on who wins that. I'm not going to say Cowboys would win that round 5. I'm just saying that probably goes to a round 5 if not for that. So heading into this Vault hardpoint, I'm sure you're kind of looking to just go back to what was working on that defensive round, try to play fast in your face. We even saw Taken flipping things out, playing towards ammo, getting towards the top and cutting off some of those players who were trying to hit routes on ICC. And the fundamentals and the communication is there for the Cowboys, and this is a map 4 that I expect to beat just as close as map number 1 with how this whole series is going. I mean, you literally look at these two teams, and if they were on the top 25 sheet or wherever they would kind of line up in the standings for CCL, these two schools are literally side by side in skill level. They are neck and neck throughout this whole series.
Yeah, I don't disagree one stretch. I do also feel kind of bad for the Cowboys in a lot of the sense, because of the fact that they had to deal with that round 11 loss before that. Now that was in their hands, you know, a lag out in the control, maybe not necessarily in their hands, but those are things that can kind of chalk a vibe, right? And especially after you lose that round, after playing it out, and then you're told, hey, you're not able to replay that round, you're gonna have to go and just kind of play down 2-1, and then you have to play a defense where ICC is able to just kind of collapse on you on the offensive side. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. So I feel bad for them because, again, the vibe is chalked. I've been there beforehand, Colin. You and I have both been in the same Discord at the same time when the vibe gets chalked, and then we don't play the same the rest of the night. That's how I feel right now, whether it was when we were playing Premier or whether it's when we're playing some ranked matches. The vibe, when it's tarnished, does not easily mend itself, especially when that happens twice in the same night and you're asked to regain multiple times.
However, we were not playing the CCL. We're not competitors like these guys are. So this is a really good... We're back again. Welcome to the CCL Late Night Talk Show with Korn and Seymour. We got Cowboys looking to at least pull things back in this Vault hardpoint, see if they can send us to a map number 5, and the Pirates on the other side looking to shut things down and see if they can put us all to bed quickly. Korn, we're into P1. We are off the reset. I imagine this is a full reset from 0, so ICC going to be inside the hill. They flip the spawns, and they're going to be again just back in the driver's seat where they left off.
Yeah, I mean, the first time we saw P1, they weren't able to touch it, so this is a good change of pace for them in the reset here. Over by P2, that's where they got the bulk of their time. For a contestant in, though, it's going to be 3 good kills that go the way of the Cowboys, so they're going to be able to break back inside of P1. 15 seconds left on it. 25 for ICC on the rotation. They did have it firm in their possession early on, but you have to look for Beretta, who's made a play all the way into the back line. Actually, excuse me, that's CJ. So CJ's going to be back there. Rylo's not going to be able to read it out. The AR back there this time. So the Ames is looking over. Might be able to find at least 2, but he has a good one for the trade.
He's just got to stay alive, not able to hit that regen, and Junior finally will take that kill. You can see from the front, Bretta has at least slipped through palms. He's just not able to win his one when he really needs to, and now you can see those back spawns for the Cowboys. They really need to kick things into gear, find a break soon, because that ICC number just continues to grow. Taken, finally going to find the break in the inside of that hard point. Hum's now looking to follow things up. He finds 2, 4 in a row, and that is going to keep things at least on a knife's edge for the Cowboys at the moment. Hum's trying to find the rest of them for this 19-second slides in, takes down Beretta. Can he find 2? No, Taken, trading things out, and you can see the scrap time still being fought for. Cowboys, they need it, and they'll get it.
Good cleanup. I mean, Trix is by himself over here. I was going to say that's an aggressive challenge over towards Vault. I would have liked him to see, like, play his life in the back. Bottom art would have been cool. Could have went to the top side, maybe try to play over the top, but unfortunately, does get cut off. So now you look at a weird spread on the map. You got a 1v1 gunfight over here on the right side of the map. You have a Hum's gunfight that goes his way on the opposite side of the map where he gets art control, but the spawns are still going to be deep by statue. So weird split on the map still.
Yeah.
Cowboys getting the majority of the time. But the first 20 seconds now is elapsed on P3. It is going to be ICC in, and it should be firm map control now, barring CJ, who's making another flag.
Yeah, I mean, CJ's really got to be the difference here. Fortunately enough, his teammates come away with some pretty major kills. Unfortunately, though, for CJ, it seems Junior has just played the timing to perfection. Still gets absolutely dusted up top art. And the Cowboys at a minimal advantage for now, still losing time inside the hard point. What they really need to put some focus up on spawns is going to be pushing that bottom side of the map and see if they can get to P4 first.
Oh, Trickster, good shots up top. A couple of shots that clean up through on 5 in a row. They have not been able to take him out of this P4 building. Now as he slides all the way through, he needs to be careful because Beretta slipped the back line. He's going to get some good timing, but he's got teammates over the top to help. At least for a moment, I thought that was going to be the answer to the equation. Instead is a head tap from Beretta, who finds a player in the back end. So as Junior falls and ICC have the front side of the hill, unfortunately, it's a collapse and the trophy system gone. So now it's a full flip and a wipe off the board for ICC. Cowboys are inside of P4 with full spawns.
It looks like this reset is looking a lot better for the Cowboys. The breaks are good. The setups are fantastic, and the time is starting to lead their way. Trickster inside the hill has some backup with reload, and they break from the front. They flip things again. 20 seconds on this one, and you can see that the Cowboys still going to send some lives here to fight for this scrap time. In is going to be CJ through the side door. Taken now. Trickster winning all the fights inside this hill, and even shuts down CJ at the front door. So scrap time to ICC, and this is what the biggest lead we have seen since the start of the game heading into the second set.
Another spree here from Trickster. He's on 6 in a row. Looks over towards the right side. He actually got good timing. Slipped the net on one who was playing up by the staircase. Trying to find one last kill that could give him the streaks, and there it is. There's the Hellstorm to go along with it. So now utility for ICC. The Pirates are going to be able to clear the skies out in just a moment if they so choose to. Obviously, probably won't use it here on P1, but if it comes down to it and they need to break into P2, well, you can bet your lucky stars they're going to be popping that out.
Reload. Good information towards the player bottom vault, but you don't really need to take that challenge. Trickster, 16 and 6. He's going to be cut down towards the top side of the catwalk, and here's the break that you're looking for if you're a fan of Rio Grande Valley. They're into the hill, 20 seconds that they would love to get all of. And the spawns over towards P2 as well, so they're going to have this set up. This is where ICC was able to kind of push that lead first and foremost in that first set of rotations, and I think the Cowboys here have a good chance of repeating that.
This is the territory I was talking about. P2 locked down by the Cowboys. Would not be surprised if we saw the streak be used here. But if you are ICC, the last thing you want to do is just try to push your way forward and get cut down. That was the perfect opportunity for them to use the streaks. Hum just needed to stay down in the pool. Players were coming off the respawn. Now you're going to be playing from the outside looking in. You're playing a slow passive hit. So, I mean, at this point, I really wouldn't even consider calling in the streak just yet until you had a setup push. You finally get one to stop the bleeding, but there's still one on top of the truck. Junior long-range shots are going to be able to connect with the aims at the moment. So you still have P2 locked down if you are the Cowboys. Hum's in through the front for the break. Needs to be careful, though, because the spawns are so close.
Hum's has been so good on the timing, but inside the hill, not able to win the fight versus Taken. Luckily, the teammates there to clean up. Spawns in the back still for the Cowboys, and they got to be careful not to get trapped here as well. Fortunately enough for them, I think this would spawn them out. No, they're still back there. As you can see, I think that's Hums is just influencing those spawns in the back for the Cowboys. They're going to give things up over towards P2. A 20-point lead heading into this third hill.
Thus far, Junior has not fancied the gunfights he's been taking on the map.
Ooh.
8 and 20 looking to turn that around. They lined up for a moment. I thought Hums was going to be able to get the better of the timing. Instead, out the backside through the spawn, Beretta will be able to shoot the shots and make them stick oh so accordingly. So 4 in a row there from Rilo. Looking for a few players in through the middle of the map. Right now, the Cowboys getting some good time here on P3. Just need to make sure that they keep block on middle map, and unfortunately, that's going to be the catalyst that ICC needed to be able to regain some map control here, and maybe even push themselves onto the point.
CJ has been noted towards the backside of Palms. He's going to look to get aggressive here, but as soon as he does, shut down Hums, who's been fantastic off the breaks, looking to put one together again with the help of Junior. ICC is going to be in, and now some focus from the Pirates for this P4 rotation. You can see Hums set up through mid. A player, Rilo, watching the cross from top arch, and they're going to spot Bretta getting in the back, and know he's going to be here, but Bretta needs to almost go big in this position. He's going to be on an island for a moment, needs to put some kills up on the board.
And he knows one's out there, but he doesn't want to aggress it too far because he knows he's going to have to deal with the pressure through the back. So as they come off the spawn, ICC lose one player. They try to play for the second, but Rilo will pop all 3 in the back, and Junior tacks on the 4th. So now that's 4 dead. Spawns are going to flip across the map, and if you're the side of UTRGV, now you have to push out through you or play the pool side, both of which are kind of funneling into long-range angles. And as Rilo is forced to reload on 4 in a row, it's going to be straight through the front door. Hum still tries to stay alive, and no, don't tell me he's lagged out again. Are you kidding me? He's moonwalking across the back. That's a snake if I've ever seen one.
That is, I mean, slippery snake, but not in the COD terms for that. No red cards needed. Hums doesn't seem like he is still in this one, but ICC fighting nonetheless for this hill time. Rilo inside, wins a major fight versus Beretta. Contest in for number 2, and there's the break. 4 taken. 4 seconds, though, on this hard point as everybody's going to be setting up for this rotation. Nobody leaving the lobby, so it seems like they're playing this one out for now. And for the Cowboys, they are going to take this, and I'm sure they're going to ride with it.
Trickster running around the back. I mean, you've already lost one to the same incident, so I mean, if you're the Cowboys, I mean, you take this one for free if you can. And I'm not sure what the ruling says, at least at this like juncture of a hard point of like being in this situation with the timing and how long that we've been in the game. I mean, they are definitely playing it out. They're just trying to push up the map right now. I mean, a 4v3 is going to be relatively impossible. But I mean, hey, a couple kills go their way. They might be able to collapse back inside a middle map. If you can just keep it open, maybe play for the timing too. I mean, there's a chance. I'd be shocked, given how close the series has been.
These players are Slayers that are still in this one. And I mean, you talked about Junior. He was having himself a little tough go at the start of this, but he started to pick up the pace. And with Trickster 25 and 18 now, and Reload 31 and 17. Hey, this is still, I hate to say it, this is still a little bit possible, at least the way that ICC are keeping this one close with the way that Volt is and the way that spawns are influenced. You can see that they're still keeping the Cowboys at range, and the Cowboys forced to actually set up for a full break, not just barrel roll through the front, but the kills come through. Trickster, last one standing. He's going to try to play for the hill time in 4 in a row. He's still in, getting this time. Hums is back, and ICC are continuing to lead this, even down a whole player.
And now CJ's gone! So Hums comes back, and now CJ's out of the game. I thought he was going to let them play a 3v3 while he was just sitting in the backside of P4, not playing there. So Hums rejoins the game. Now we're in a 4v3 for the other side. This is the first time I've ever seen this, and this is glorious.
I mean, what do you do if you're the Cowboys? You can't back out. You know ICC will be, oh, we didn't do it.
CJ's back!
CJ's back into this game. Down 30 points. The Cowboys now with all 4 members back into this game. Oh, what are we watching? Can they pull this one back?
Deficit, dude. The game is still close. Each side has to be beyond shocked, but ICC now 40 points away from being able to take this map and this series. Cowboys just need to regain. Hums trying to push his way out, was on 4 in a row, gets cut down into P3. The break is on. 2 players now going forward. It's a 2-2 split for each side. Junior able to clean up the last one, but CJ still laying down inside of P3. No one's there for the contestation. This game is not over.
I mean, right now, ICC with the lead, they're going to have middle map control, and you can see that Hums flanking yet again to get in behind, see if he can keep the Cowboys off of this scrap time. He's just trying to be a nuisance. You got the rotations to P4 to worry about. And it looks like CJ is going to start trying to work on this one. Relo on the cross should have him dead to rights, and it's 3 down. Set up here for ICC can put this game away.
Gonna be such a tough break. They're gonna have to do it through the pool and in through middle map. Nobody choosing to push out through the P3 lane at this moment. 2 players already dead from the Cowboys on the push forward. 25 seconds needed for ICC to take the map. Taken has seemingly slipped through a few players. Going to shoot the door open and try to look for one. Setting up on top of the left. Going to try and get him out of the zone for a moment and will. So the hill is going to sit vacant for the time being. Taken will go ahead and push his way in forward. And they've got bodies here. Numbers for the Cowboys. But team shots were there. Hums is going to be able to pop a double. Gets traded out. Junior in through the front. But the spawns are now close for the Cowboys in the back. And he turns on him.
And they're in 26 seconds. 2:32 for ICC. It looks like with the setup that we got, we're going to head to a 3rd set of rotations, Corn, and this is where I need to see the Cowboys take some priority on that, start to flood these lanes, and they're already working out of the hill at least.
Trickster looking, spying, still has the Hellstorm to use if he wants to. 32 and 26. They've set up in the middle of the map. They've got players here. CJ wins a crucial 1v1 to allow a pinch to start forming. Up on towards the top. CJ has slipped the net. Hums is still looking for one. Shots went to the wayside and he gets knocked off. Rilo still over by the pool. This one, it's going down to the wire. Cowboys are going to be able to take the lead.
Cowboys are in. Spawns are flipped. And it's just down to the slaying now for the players inside the hill. CJ soaking it up. Big win onto Trickster. Second one up right through the front. Everybody flooding through the lobby. Junior top cat, he's gonna fall. Congestion not inbound for ICC. 7 seconds left, and there is time to win it out. They gotta rush. The Hellstorm's called in, Corn. Is it gonna be enough?
Rilo slides in, tries to find one by the pillars. The second one is there. It's a foot race now for player 8. Hums tries to break in. Taken gunfights win. Cowboys win. One of the craziest hardpoints I've ever been a part of. 3 lag outs, 3 reconnects, and a game that goes down to 17 points.
What just happened? I mean, we've been casting this esport for 6 years, Corn, and I have never seen anything like that. Lag outs from either side, a 3v4 for ICC where they maintain a 30-point lead until their teammate comes back. Cowboys get a lag out. They have their teammate come back in seconds of that second hill being open. A break on P4. They get the spawns. They notice they can't win it there. Neither team can. So they just flood P1. They win their fights. And I mean, CJ goes absolutely nuclear in that 3rd set of rotations, just locking down that hill for the team. And yeah, look back at this. I mean, it is just parallel all the way across. It was ICC leading from start up until P4 to P1 there. And you can see that that's when the Cowboys finally took hold. They switched things, and that is probably the craziest hardpoint I've ever seen.
I got to watch a comeback from Doug Centermartin by like 200 points on a Mercado inside of MW2. But like that just the sheer amount of things that happened throughout that game that led us to the final scoreline, that was cinema.
That was cinema.
We were talking philosophy earlier. I think we need to start getting into the aspect of being cinephiles, because that was gorgeous stuff right there. So now we get to do it all over again on a Hacienda, where we started this best of 5 series. It's poetry in motion, how we find ourselves back where it all began. The ending was the beginning, the end, and vice versa. So many things to talk about as we gear up for this search and destroy. So many thoughts that we need to recollect, Colin.
Yeah, I mean, Hacienda coming up. You and I, we've been going at this since 7 p.m. and it's 1 in the morning now. We already saw that the Cowboys lost around 11, game 5, back in their first series today, week 2, day 2. And now they're loading up into another game 5. This time it's late at night. And they just had the composure to pull off what was a clutch they really had no business making happen.
Offense for the Cowboys. ICC looking to play aggressive here on defense. They've spotted 2 out over by the rocks. It's a trade that goes the way of UTRGV. 2-2 in the round. Rilo he just shoots the final couple bullets out into CJ. Cleans up the final player. And all of a sudden, now he's left alive in a 1 versus 2. CJ looking for 1. Can he get the good timing on the 50-50 snap? It looks like they're just going to hold through middle map. Long-range shots from the Jackal will be forced to back off. Nobody's over by the rock, so he might be able to get this down at B for free.
He has no idea where the second player is, though. At this moment, realistically, Hums could be anywhere, and with the way he's been playing, he's been quite active. So CJ still undecided on where to take this bomb. It's a full wrap, possibly towards top plat, then over towards A, but he's really hoping he can catch a timing here, but he's just smashing through doors and walking into corners unchecked. CJ had no idea really what to do with that round. Didn't want to take the 50-50 gamble on just going for the bomb plant. And, I mean, I don't blame him. That is a stressful situation to be in.
Feels rather unfair that we have to slow the game down this much after that hard one. I'm still just coming off the back of it, but I just had to take a look at the scoreboard real quick, make sure nobody was gone yet. So we're good still.
Don't do that to me.
I saw it. I thought it was a little compact for a second, but we're good. It's my brain playing tricks on me. Call it a placebo, whatever you will. But Murphy's Law, we talked about it after game 2. 3, 4, and 5 all the distance.
Oh, boy.
Players in through middle with the bomb on the offensive side. First blood going to go to Beretta. Now as Trickster trades out, we're 3v3 after 20 seconds have gone through.
Hums on a route. Beretta's got no idea. He's about to be shot in the back. And CJ having to go big inside the site. It's not going to happen. 2v1 again for ICC. This time they're going to have the bomb planted. And this time it's taken to try to get this retake. Unfortunately, he has no idea where this post plan is going to be set up for.
Could he catch a god timing here? Answer is no. Nobody wants to push out through the middle of the map. They planted it for the top side of the office. So he's going to have to take 2 big gunfights against both of these players. Going to be a revolving door strategy here in just a moment. And he's just like basically second guessing himself.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to peek it. I don't think anybody will.
Well, there's just the check onto the bomb from Hums. He sees nobody's there. Second check and they spot taken. So 11 seconds. They've just played the objective to a T.
This is so trolly.
And oh my God, no way. Hums just a little, how do you do? All right, we'll take this. No worries.
He makes him second guess the entire round. He's checking back to middle. He's checking top office, checking middle, checking top office. And the second that he's just like, all right, they're not going to come from middle. I'm just going to try and wait for them to come from top office. Both of them.
They need a full mental reset like what we saw on that skyline too. I mean, remember, ICC went 3-0 up on the skyline. And then it was the Cowboys just flipped a switch. And it was Zero finding first bloods. Taken following that up. Zero's 1 and 2. You see Taken 0 and 2. Both of them not really having a great start to this Hacienda. If anybody you need to turn around right now for the Cowboys, it's the two of them. And you just cannot keep putting your teammates in 1v2s.
Sun check off 1. Going to be able to weaken 1 up. Trickster needs to be careful. Slide challenge out for the first player in. Now the second through middle map is going to be able to connect. So the Cowboys do the dirty work. They come out on top of the trades, win the gunfights where they're supposed to. Hum's the last alive here in a 1 versus 3. Doesn't realize there's somebody directly over towards the right. Oh, it got close.
I'm just saying.
The Cowboys stay firm on the back of the horse.
We've seen a lot of turn-ons today, so I was totally ready for that to go Hum's way, but we get to see it again too. Tough one there for Beretta, but it's a great one from Cowboys. Decisive, confident, they get it done. CJ or Taken draws the first blood of that round, and everybody just floods into Rock to get that bomb planted. I mean, that is the play calls that I want to see from the Cowboys here after losing those first 2 rounds. It's just make sure it's together, decisive. If you're even going to make a wrong play, at least make the wrong play together. Give yourself a chance to fight.
Beretta. Up through the alley, into the hallway. I thought down the corridor he would be fine. Instead, it's a double challenge from ICC that works out perfectly. They bring the bomb over towards A. CJ trades it, makes it a 2 versus 2. Bomb will go down. 45 seconds, the restrictive timer. Both players from the Cowboys on the retake playing opposite sides of the map. They're going to have to take 1v. Don't even tell me, dude. Whoa. Okay.
Taken's going to find the kill on the site. Oh, Taken. All 4 kills in a row there for Taken, and they are beautiful. Reload thought he had the timing to push out towards Plat, see if he could trade that, but the snap is on. We're tied.
See it one more time here. Or
We're not.
Dude, I thought our observer lagged out that time, and I was going to go crazy. Okay, so we don't see the final kill cam, but nice little two-piece there from Taken. They locked me in some sort of sassafras room. I don't know. Anyways, got it out. You're welcome. I don't remember who said the word, but there you go. Be happy. Beretta up middle map. Gunfight won by Junior. SMG up close for Hums as well. So 2 kills already go their way. Hacienda, these first few rounds have kind of been bang-outs like every other map that we've seen. I think these first few rounds have gone faster than some of the Skylines.
This has to be like top 5 fastest Haciendas I've seen, period, even across other Call of Duty titles. The CJ in a 1v4 can't make it into a 1v2. The shots were clean, and he had the read, gave himself a chance there, but ICC puts a stop to the shenanigans of the Cowboys. They fight fire with fire in that round, and I mean, it's just a great A bang out through the middle of the map, and you win those first bloods. You really see that these teams don't really want to throw strategy into this game. It is just try to take these gunfights, win these gunfights, bigger number wins.
3-2 ICC. Back to the offensive stretch are the Pirates. You're just joining in with us. What a series it's been so far. 1:15 here on the East Coast of the United States. Wherever you're joining us from the rest of the continental U.S., Canada, or anywhere else in the world. Hopefully you've enjoyed the action here tonight so far. Let's keep it going with the first blood from the Cowboys. 4 versus 3, 15 seconds off the clock. Beretta looking for some pre-fire shots into the opposite end. This offensive push has been thwarted from ICC, at least for the moment. They want to try and send this over towards B. Taken's not going to get spotted down. He's just looking for Toth.
Ooh, it looks like we're going to get a little bit of an audible here from the Pirates through the top side. Tricksta almost snaps to a third. 2v2. Bomb in the hand of Junior. The chase is on for this lone player. You still have Taken over towards B, and it looks like Beretta sneaks away, finds that second kill as well, leaving Relo in a 1v2 without information on the second player either. The timing could pay off through the doorway, slowly peeking it out. Did he hear the slide?
Thinking the same thing.
Is the biggest question.
Backside, Rilo. Gunfight. CJ drops down. Good enough. How did he not kill him? It was like 8 bullets.
Beretta's just 8. It had to be a wallbang through the...
Oh, yeah, 2
garden.
Right there.
Oh, man. 7 and 3 from Beretta, and the triple kill to end it as well. 3 in a row closes that round, keeps us even. Just back and forth now between both teams. That's defense for defense. So Cowboys back onto the offense. They had an offensive win earlier. It was a full hit over towards B. Do we get something like this? Maybe a hit through the top side. Swing it through open, see if you can pinch out that rock side, and it looks like it's just going to be met by aggression from ICC as well. They got players here.
2-2. One's laying down over by the rocks. Wisely backs off. Hums is making a water route. We used to call this the alligator back in the day in Black Ops 4. And I believe Tricksta saw the player on the plant. Going to be able to find one. Everybody now starting to corral and collapse on these last 2 players over by the rock. 2 versus 2. Tricksta tops up, not able to find anything, and now trying to fly from across the map is Junior. He's going to be met in middle map with 1. The other player is backed all the way off over by P2, but this one should be a round win for the Cowboys unless something goes catastrophically wrong, and it does not. Got close for a second. He walks away with 1, but it's the trade there. Cowboys win 2 straight, now up 4-3.
First time take a lead on Hacienda as well, so that is 2 rounds in a row that they managed to tie things up. You get ICC to bring back their lead, but it's another 2 rounds from the Cowboys back to back. They take the lead for themselves. And in that, I mean, Hums, I like the alligator route, like you said, from himself. It was fierce. It finds the kill, but Tricksta just getting a little bit stressed in that fight. It just seemed like he had the gunny for the second kill and then lost it in a moment. And you saw that Cowboys were able to regain, restabilize, take them down, set themselves up in the 2v1. And now we get an RCXD. So, I mean, what could go wrong here?
Pretty much nothing, because they're not going to get any information except that nobody's over on B. It's a full A commit, but the bomb is being brought inside of the office. They are pushing the spawn out of the Cowboys at the moment. I think they were trying to find the player with the RC car. They've done a good job of finding 2. Now it's just a matter of getting this bomb down, making sure you get out of dodge. Yeah, Beretta's in the back down below underneath, and somebody's over by Boathouse. This is going to be a free plant on the opposite side. What's the retake look like here?
Hey, the retake looks like Beretta at least looking for this bomb carrier. Stays alive. 5 in a row for Beretta. He's going to group back up with his teammate. Bomb still has yet to go down. So Cowboys got some time to rotate this out, see if they can catch Relo off guard, and he has no idea they're reflanking this one. 2v2.
So close. 6 in a row. You're getting closer to a hellstorm here, too, if you are Beretta. Junior's going to spot one off the drop of the plat, but the other one's trying to play up through middle map. This is such a bad timing here for either team. Each player has somebody that's flanking them or trying to get behind them. Junior, Tricksta, pair for one, taken, the last one alive. He's able to make the first gunfight stick, but the second one out from the fences is able to find one. So the Vineyard push from ICC and the delayed flank back through the top side of plat allows them to tie things up at 4-4. Probably shouldn't have been in a 2 versus 2 or even a 1v1 in the first place, but it's still ICC that come out on top of it.
He just sprints into the open as well. I think he thought Junior went inside the fences, not outside the fences, and he wanted to take that fight towards the head glitch. That would be the bomb. 25 seconds there. You had a lot of time if you were taken to play that one out, but it gets close. ICC keep it closer. 4-4. We're tied up. Back onto the offense are the Cowboys. They've been loving this B-side hit, and it looks like they're going to go for it yet again. Taken, trying to pull that first blood from the top side.
It was Taken versus Rilo the last time on the offense from the Cowboys, where Rilo got knocked off. This time, they don't over-aggress on it. They peek out. They get some information of where that player is, and Rilo opens the first blood. ICC able to go ahead on the defense and finally get one for the money. But as CJ tries to fly forward, he should be getting shot in the back here because there was a second one playing up top, but somehow escapes with his life. So 3 versus 3. Plenty of time to work with here if you are the offensive team. You've got the rock swarmed right now. ICC, they just have a full spread of the map, so nobody really is able to get through. Toe shots are good. Beretta falls 3-2.
Sniffing the kill there, and you look at the follow-up from the Cowboys. They just send it at Tricksta. They get the trade. 2v2 now. Bomb picked up, and it looks like they're going to rotate this one. However, Junior, bottom one, is going to be ready for this as well. Taken, try to track him down, but Junior backs up and takes the pressure head on. ICC hit 5 first, and they're ready to take this game 5 and put us to bed.
And that's just so smart from Junior, recognizing, okay, if they play this over by B, they don't know where that second player is. You only know that the one player's up top office. If he can just play this consolation and read the route that's coming across the middle map, because that's obviously the most likely route that they're going to hit through if they try to hit that roto over to B, you're going to be able to cut that first player off. That's exactly what happens. Second one tries to challenge. You know you're trying to force that 1v1 immediately off the player that you have information on. Throws the stun, checks him off. Gorgeous stuff there from Junior in a solo play. He didn't have a great map 4, but in map 5, he's making plays that are going to count. 6 and 6 for him, up on 4 in a row, looking to challenge potentially over middle map. Oh, Beretta, good shots, 13 HP. He'll survive for now. 4 versus 4. Everybody weakened up, and nobody off the board just yet. Just kidding. Rilo opens up with 1.
Couple sharp shots traded there, but it's first blood ultimately for the Pirates, and they have full control for the top side of mid. You can see that RCXD is going to be called in, and it's going to be bomb carrier killed by way of score streak. So that's one way to pull yourself back into the series, and a very bold one at that.
Don't overextend onto the bomb. You know that the bomb is down, but you cannot let them get through behind. ICC is going to want to try and flank this all the way through. If you allow them to get into your back line and you push too far up into the field, you are asking to get pinched from the player that's up and towards the top vines as well. So if you're looking for Junior right now, and you're Beretta might be making the play right here. Hum's gonna be the first one to challenge. There's 2 players there. He's got help coming in from the top side, but now CJ has to rotate all the way back around. His teammate jumps out of the window. Somebody escapes into the middle of the map, and that's gonna be Hum. So now Junior can collect the bomb. They're gonna be able to plant this with 20 left.
Oh, this is just an absolute bait from Hums. He gets away somehow with his life. Makes it a 2v2. And ICC in the post plan looking to put this one to rest. CJ up top. He drops down in mid. Somehow doesn't win it. And it's all down to Beretta.
Beretta in a 1 versus 2. 28 seconds left. Knows where 1 was playing last. Inside of the corner, tucked inside of you. Just trying to play out through the Vineyard here. Does anybody spot him out? Yes, he does. Up from the top. The shots aren't good. Everybody collapses. ICC in a round where they had a 2 versus 2. A wonderful gunfight down below. Lost by the Cowboys. Forces the 1v2. They can't clutch up. 6-4 in one of the longest yet most exciting series we're going to see all year long. It goes the distance to 5, and ICC improves to 2-1 on the year.
It could have been anybody's series at the end of it, but ICC win when it matters, and it's Hums in round 10 that goes absolutely above and beyond towards the offices. The bait and switch, I thought it was going to blow up in their face. You had a bait and switch of your own if you're the Cowboys, but the follow-up player, CJ on the staircase, gets pieced from Hums. He stays alive. He escapes. Junior collects the bomb, and that is clinical from ICC Esports in terms of just misdirection on Hacienda. So 6-4, and that's back-to-back Game 5 losses on this Tuesday night for the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley, which is going to really hurt their standings after week number 2. ICC, on the other hand, icing up in so many different ways. Map 1 taking the Hacienda hardpoint, map 3 winning out in the Vault Control, and then map 5 taking the Hacienda Search and Destroy in what is just a crazy turn of events.
You can see it from the stat lines on every map: 250, 222, 65, 31, 250, 220, or 233, and then a 6-4 to end it there. When teams were winning, they were winning close. The control probably a little bit closer than it looks on paper, even just because of the lag out that happened in one of the rounds where the Cowboys felt like they probably were going to be able to take that one. But internet helped out everybody, and it hurt everybody in the same stretch throughout the entire series, and that was one that we will probably be in remembrance of for quite some time. Maybe not for the best or worst reasons, but we will remember this series. I had the stream open on my other monitor, and I just watched the CJ drop down against Junior in that gunfight, and like, it's just one of those where one player just walks backwards. They just hold the left stick back. Somebody drops down in front of them. They get the bad timing on it. I look crazy right now because I have been going for the last, I don't know how many hours at this point, but we've been having fun. Colin, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
I mean, omnidirectional movement is all I'm going to say. Makes things quite wild this year. But that Vault hardpoint has to be one of the most memorable hardpoints that I will have from Black Ops 6. That is probably one of the craziest things that I've ever seen. In particular, we had legouts from both sides. They chose to just thug it out and taking the win at the end there for Cowboys, forcing another Game 5. I mean, it's definitely going to hurt when you walk away with this, knowing that you lost 2 map 5s today, one in around 11, one in around 10. You had the potential to 2-0 the night if you were the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley, but you had yourself a great series. There were so many moments where your team just stepped up in hero moments, and ICC as well. Both of these two teams could have walked away from this series a winner, and that just goes to show that the division is just locked neck tight between both of these two teams, Corn, and I think that I cannot wait till later on down the line we get a rematch between these two, because it is just a fun one.
It absolutely is. And I hate to say it, but these are the types of matches, especially with the 2 back-to-back Game 5s that you lose. End of the season, when you're looking at your record going like, what are some series that, you know, could have went our way very easily? What are some, you know, matches that maybe would have put us higher in the standings, or maybe got us better seeding for what the postseason has to offer? And you're going to look directly to these matches, the one versus ICC and the one that they had previous to this best of 5 series, where they went the distance to Game 5 once again, went to the round 11s, the deep rounds of the S&Ds, and just unfortunately weren't able to clutch up. And there's something to be said about that. Somebody probably has wiser words than I do on this whole subject, but I will say this. I think that for what it's worth, the Cowboys are going to keep fighting. That much is obvious. Their season's not over by any stretch of the imagination, but they're going to take a hard look in the mirror after this one, and they're going to try and figure things out, because there needs to be a significant change in order for this team to have long-term success going into the later portions of the season.
Lots to work on for both teams after this series to win for ICC, and that's going to buff them out for the end of this Tuesday night, the end of week 2 here for College COD, folks. It's been a long day. What is this? A 6-hour stream so far across all 3 of our matches, and I couldn't be more thankful for everybody that tuned in and stuck with us throughout the end of it. It's you guys that we are here for, and there's nowhere that I would rather be than at College COD on Mondays and Tuesdays. Corn, I'm sure you feel the same way, but that's going to be it for the 2 of us on this night. Don't forget to show some love to College COD here on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter as well. Follow us, love us, and we'll see you next week for some more action on week 3.